Hello children. Today we are going to learn about probability. What do you actually mean by probability? Probability is the possibility of an event to occur. It is the possibility of an event to occur. So now, probability, it is a branch of mathematics which deals calculating likely outcomes of a given event, and it is expressed as a number in between 0 to 1. Probability is always in between 0 to 1. Here you can see and observe this line where I have given the possibility from 0 to 1. So if the probability is 0, the events are impossible, and if the probability is 1, then it is a certain event. So an event with the probability of 1 can be considered as certainty, whereas an event with probability of 0 can be considered as an impossibility. An event with the probability of 0.5 here, okay, can be considered to have equal chances of occurring or not occurring. And an event that is likely to occur will have probability between 0.5 to 1, and the event which is which is not likely to occur will be between 0 to 0.5. So equally likely events, what are they? Outcomes of an event are said to be equally likely when they have the same chance of occurring. So it happens in the case of an unbiased or a fair event. For example, rolling a die. So the outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So all are equally likely to occur. So these are called as equally likely events. What is an impossible event then? So, impossible event is that it doesn't have any chance of occurring. For example, getting number 7 in a single roll of a die, it's quite impossible. So, there will be no outcome favorable to 7. That is called as impossible event. Probability of an event, it will always lie between 0 and 1. Suppose, rolling a die twice. Rolling a die twice, that is n of s, it is 36. So after all this survey, we came to a conclusion that for the formula to calculate probability, probability of an event can be calculated by event or events by number of outcomes. Event or events by number of outcomes. So these are all the types of probability. Classic probability, experimental probability, theoretical probability, subjective probability. Classic probability is the approach of probability which often involves coin tossing or rolling a die, and it is calculated by listing all of the possible outcomes of the activity and recordings to the actual occurrences. Whereas experimental probability is based on the number of possible outcomes by the total number of trials. On the other hand, theoretical probability, it is an approach that bases the possible probability on the possible chances of something to happen. And the subjective probability, it is based on a person's own personal reasoning and judgment. So now the basic concept of probability. Probability of a single event. Suppose if you roll a six-sided die, there are six possible outcomes, right? And each of these outcomes is equally likely. And suppose probability of getting a single number on a die. Fine. So it will be 1 by 6 using the formula number of favorable outcomes by number of possible equally likely outcomes. Okay, probability we have learned, but where do we apply this probability? So the applications of probability are in financial markets, risk management, environmental regulation, in analysis, communication networks, signal theory, research, and in information technology. Hope you all have understood, children, about probability. Thank you.